funny, isn't it? I think in our race for these kind of conquests, I kind of forget that it's very normal that sometimes we win and sometimes we lose, and that actually all that stuff that happens in the middle is pretty much what we're here for. Hey, good morning. Morning walk, episode 75. Thanks for joining me. And today I've brought you to beautiful Byron Bay to admire the spectacular sunrise from Australia's most easterly point. You know, some days you win and some days you lose. And today, well, that sunrise, she ain't happening, but at least I guess I hadn't planned to get married this morning. These poor guys. But there's something in that, isn't there? It's like, yep, they planned to have a beautiful wedding as the sun came up on the beach in Byron Bay. Some days you win and some days you lose. And they could be standing here this morning being like, oh shit, we lost. We didn't pick the weather right. Well, what you hope is that irrespective of the weather, they're still going to see this morning as a win. Let's take a walk and have a chat. Thanks for joining me. Byron Bay is Australia's most easterly point, which means next stop, once you kind of jump off into that sunrise, is essentially South America. It's a long way away from here. I don't know, like 8,000, 10,000 kilometers. Pretty far. Anyway, it's a funny kind of town because basically a really hippie place, you know, organic, seeds of the earth kind of place. Still is, but hippie town back in the 60s, and quiet and calm. And then suddenly, like, townsfolk discovered that it's a pretty bloody nice place. It's good surfing and kind of lovely outdoors areas. And it started to sort of get gentrified. And before you know it, as many of these places do, Byron Bay became, I don't know, trendy. I must admit, the first day when we pulled into Byron, I was on the main road and I was like, I don't understand this place. Ridiculously expensive. And yet at the same time, you have all these like poor backpackers who have no money trying to like make the most out of the experience. It's just kind of weird. I'm not sure I quite understood it. Anyway, a few days living in a caravan here, it's starting to make a little bit more sense to me. Because I guess the beautiful thing about the area is that whilst there is tons of money, and those with tons of money can enjoy all of the fruits that tons of money can bring, there are also tons of opportunities here just to enjoy the sunrise, enjoy the outdoors. Rainforest that you find all over this part of the far north coast of New South Wales. It's really beautiful. Anyway, this is where I wanted to bring you this morning. The famed Byron Bay Lighthouse, most easterly lighthouse in Australia, and the place to watch the sun come up, except I'm too late. I was messing around, struggling to get out of bed, and then fascinated by the folks getting married down on the beach. Such is life. We're nearly there. Let's get going. Scrub Turkey's a boy. You can tell from the big sort of ring of yellow around his neck. He uses that to chase the girls. His jewellery. Behind me here, these are the lighthouse keepers' cottages. You can actually rent them. don't know what they cost these days, but a long time ago when I was 13 years old, my parents rented one of those. We actually stayed up here at the Lighthouse, which was pretty awesome. Definitely in terms of getting up to see a sunrise. It means you don't have to go very far, because there she is, Lighthouse. Sunrise, strictly speaking, about to join us just over here. I think this is why people love Byron Bay. There's something about extremes that captures our imagination, isn't there? It's like the idea of it being at the most northerly point, the most southerly point, the most easterly point, or climbing the highest thing, plunging to the deep depths of the deepest ocean. I know, it's very, very human to kind of want to have these conquests, to have made it. I've made it this morning. Check out the view. The sunsets up here are amazing too. Sun goes down over that way. There's the mighty Byron Bay Lighthouse. And this here, little black thing, this is the highest point. Plenty of selfieing going on. Let me go off and take a photo for these guys. It's funny, isn't it? I think in our race for these kind of conquests, I kind of forget that it's very normal that sometimes we win and sometimes we lose, and that actually all that stuff that happens in the middle is pretty much what we're here for. I think this obsession as humans with having to win and everything being perfect, it's like just not reality, is it? You know, if you're playing the long game, if you're thinking about your life completely in its whole, like over time that stuff all evens out, doesn't it? And so, sure, you're going to chalk up some losses, but as long as you're like thinking about that big picture, you're also going to chalk up the wins, and you're going to enjoy that process in the middle so much more. So stop putting so much fucking pressure on yourself. You got time. It's like this morning, right? Like that couple on the beach, they could have been super bummed because they'd planned out this perfect wedding, sun coming up in Byron Bay, perfect. And they could be like massively disappointed that in the end it was just like grey and frickin' windy. Well, they could see it as like the start of something completely beautiful. The start of just a journey, and it's the journey being important, and actually go like, you know what? This is gonna make like an epic memory. That's a massive win. That's like me, you know, this morning, or us, you know. We could have been super disappointed to have missed that magical sunrise from Australia's most easterly point, just down there somewhere. I'm not even going to take you down to the most easterly point. Let's leave you hanging. You got to come here yourself. You got to make that journey yourself. We could have been disappointed to have missed that original sunrise, but you know what? This is a pretty freaking special moment anyway, right? So that's a win, no matter what. You know what? The sun's just about to come up anyway. You know what? I don't think we even need to see this sunrise. Just like we don't need to go down to Australia's most easterly point. It's about the journey. And like, you win some, you lose some. Doesn't matter. Whatever you're getting up to today, hope it's a good one. I'm Rob Malicki. Thanks for joining me for a walk. I'll see you next time.